Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webcast today about preparing for Autodesk's new subscription model. This is a hot topic that a lot of customers have questions, so we decided to have a webcast today to address those questions. My name is Andy Deal. I'm your host. And with us today, if you can go ahead and move on to the next slide, Rich. Our Anthony Rodriguez, he's the Vice President of KETIV Technologies, and also on the line with us are a couple of members of our customer care team. Rich Sanchez, some of you who may have called in for support and worked with Rich before knows he's very knowledgeable, and who'll be online to help answer questions as well today. And also with us is Alex Kahn. Alex is a specialist helping customers with anything that's related to subscription questions. So Alex is a very useful resource to all of our customers when it comes to question about their software or subscription. So with that, I will transition the presentation over to Mr. Anthony Rodriguez.
Thank you, Andy, and I want to welcome everyone for joining. As I looked at the attendee list earlier this morning, I have been with KETIV for 15 years, and I recognize some of you who I met the year I started. There were also several new customers that are just starting their interaction with KETIV, so I want to welcome everyone to the event. The first topic really is to talk about Autodesk license changes that are scheduled over this next year. Most of you have probably heard of the changes, and really our goal today is to spend some time with you to educate you on some important dates, your options going forward, and what resources you have from KETIV to help you through this transition. The first thing is, as I look at the list of customers attending, most of you currently have maintenance subscription. Those of you that have maintenance subscription active today will not experience a change with those licenses as long as you stay subscribed with maintenance subscription. As we go forward, Autodesk is introducing additional options that will give us greater flexibility, a more personal experience through a subscription model that they're introducing. The benefits of the subscription model we'll talk about later, but really it's about giving the user base a personalized experience through a user license, access to more real-time updates rather than a significant annual release and feature improvements. And in that process, Autodesk has given us the ability to choose which option is right for us as we look forward to the transition. Today, as a customer, there are really 3 subscription options that you have. If I start at the top, you have 2 subscribe options. Okay, and as a subscriber, that means that you pay for use of software, and when you stop paying for use of software, you no longer have access to that software. And that subscription model, which is a term model, there are 2 types. There's a desktop subscription, and there is a cloud subscription option for some forms of Autodesk software. Now again, on the phone today, most of you have the option on the bottom, which is maintenance subscription. And as long as you continue to stay subscribed through maintenance subscription, there will be no change in the way the software is delivered or you purchase your software going forward. I want to spend a little bit of time just sharing with you what the benefits of each of those options are. Now, since the majority of you have maintenance subscription today, you should be familiar with the benefits you have. Most customers have subscribed to Autodesk software for the simple benefit of keeping updated. In the past, there has been an annual release, a software update, typically in the spring, and you would get access to that release as it became available. Now, in addition to keeping your software updated, you have a variety of licensing rights through subscription for things like at-home licensing. If you're traveling internationally, you have the ability to store files in Autodesk Cloud using A360. And there's a variety of support options available to you as a maintenance subscription customer. The second option that was introduced about a year ago, it gives customers the ability to subscribe in a range of periods. Okay, so you can subscribe through desktop subscription anywhere from a quarterly to annually to multi-year subscription option. The benefits of the desktop subscription is it gives you the ability to easily scale up in licensing or down in licensing because you're only paying for licensing that you're actually using for the period you use it. So it reduces your risk, gives you the ability to budget in different ways since this is a term or rental license option. And the last form of subscription is a cloud subscription. Cloud subscription today applies to a handful of products that Autodesk has introduced, products like PLM 360, Fusion 360. There were several of you I know on this call that have maintenance subscription licenses, have implemented PLM 360, so you currently have 2 subscription options. And PLM 360, as an example, is a tool that runs in the cloud, and that is the biggest difference with this. Is the software is run and managed in the cloud, and you log in, your users log in over the internet. And that brings me to what's changing as we go forward. And really, for our customers, there's 2 important dates to plan for. The one point I want to reiterate is that if you're currently on maintenance subscription and you stay active on subscription, there will be no change with those licensing. You'll continue to renew those licenses when your contract at the contract expiration, and you'll continue to be able to use that licensing the same way you've been used to over the last several years. As we look forward, starting February 1st, Autodesk will stop selling new licenses, only new licenses, of what they call individual products. Okay, so products like AutoCAD, AutoCAD Electrical, Revit, Civil 3D, products that are non-suite products will no longer be available to purchase in a maintenance subscription format starting February 1st. If we fast forward to August 1st, Autodesk will stop selling maintenance subscription for new licenses of the majority of other products, including the suite products that exist. So this bottom subscription option, while it will continue to be maintained for those customers that are active and continue to subscribe, will no longer be available for customers looking to purchase new licenses. Now, at August 1st, you will have 2 options for new licensing. You will have the ability to purchase through desktop subscription, which gives you the same license type, same feature capabilities that you have today, just in a term-based format. And you'll have the ability on select set of products to purchase licensing as a cloud subscription service. Again, today some products include tools like BIM 360, PLM 360, Fusion 360 are cloud services that are the software is actually run on the cloud. So as a customer, the reason we wanted to have this call today is work with our customers, and we've had several events like this. We'll continue to have more and more tools to inform you as we progress, but really to spend time with you to help understand and help you plan for which direction is the best direction for you and your organization. Today, if you look forward, there's really two options that you can consider. We have the desktop subscription, and for a limited time, you have the ability to buy additional perpetual licenses with maintenance subscription. Autodesk has several rebates and promotions in place for those of you that do want to add additional maintenance subscription licenses before the deadline. And as you go through that process of deciding whether you should or should not buy additional licenses, whether you should consider desktop subscription, KETIV has put in place an assessment to help you prepare for this transition. I encourage all of you to reach out to our team. Alex and Rich are with me today, but there are multiple individuals available to help you with these decisions. And really that starts with understanding what licenses you have in place today. When we typically look at customers know which licenses they purchase more recent, but a lot of customers, a customer I talked to recently was not aware that some of their users bought AutoCAD LT as an example on their own and were using them in their business. And by getting a full report of all the licensing that your company owns today, we'll be able to help you assess, plan, and make sure you take advantage of the investments you've already made and are ready for the future. Reach out to our team. We'll look at what you have today. We'll assess what you need. We'll talk with you about what your plans are for either growing your engineering team or downsizing your engineering team. And we'll then present how the different models might affect you and what our recommendation would be to help you, from an economic standpoint, but also to make sure your team is set up for success using the tools you're used to using. I want to thank everyone for joining. Andy, we're going to have a lot of time for a Q&A. Feel free to make sure you ask questions. Me, Alex, Rich are here. We want to make sure we take as many questions as we can with the remainder of time and give you all the information you need to make the right decision. Andy, I'll turn it back over to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, last time when we had a similar webcast, we completely ran out of time for questions, so we made sure that we dedicated a lot of time for Q&A. So at this time, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type it into the Q&A panel on your GoToWebinar control panel. And while we're waiting for more questions to come in, I'm going to go ahead and discuss a few of the most frequently asked questions from a lot of customers that we talk to. So first question is to you, Alex. Can people keep their perpetual license?
The answer is absolutely. They're yours to keep, but you want to make sure they're current and on maintenance subscription as well. If you aren't, you have until February 1st to get current with those, and you want to reach out to one of our subscription specialists, including me, about that as well.
Thanks, Alex. And this is kind of a follow-up question to that, and this can go, Anthony, if you can answer this. Can people still purchase perpetual license, and what's the best way to strategize for that?
Yes, today you can still purchase perpetual licenses with maintenance subscription. You have until February 1st to purchase those licenses for all the products that exist today. That you will continue to be able to buy perpetual licenses for suite products through August 1st of next year. The best way to plan for that is really to look at what your total inventory of licensing looks like today. You'll need to factor in the rebate options Autodesk has and determine whether it makes sense to buy licensing in advance and benefit from the savings, or wait until we work towards the deadlines. But definitely the best time from a price standpoint is to add maintenance license, perpetual licenses with maintenance subscription with these rebates in place.
Thanks, Anthony. Another question that comes up a lot from our customer is, can a customer have a mix of license type between maintenance, desktop, and cloud subscription? Alex, can you address that?
Yes, absolutely. You can have a mix of license types, and we already see that within our business as well right now.
Excellent. And again, if you're unsure what is the right mix for you, contact one of your KETIV representative, or call Alex or call me, call Anthony, and we'll be more than happy to work with you to kind of figure that out through the assessment process. Here's another question that comes up a lot. I'm sure you hear this, Rich. Do I have to be connected to the internet all the time now?
That's a great question. The answer is no. With your perpetual licenses, you don't need to be connected to the internet, and with your desktop or your term licensing, you only need a connection once a month so the machine can validate your license, but all of your software, all of your data is still local to your machine.
Great, thanks, Rich. And this question comes up all the time as well. And Alex, if you can address this, this question comes in: is Autodesk plan to gradually increase maintenance subscription fee to eventually, have everyone move to desktop subscriptions?
We don't know if maintenance subscription will increase. I think the best way to avoid an increase is by doing a multi-year renewal. We offer customers a 3-year renewal to hedge against any increases and make sure you renew at the current rates.
All right. And I think this really depends on the product, but kind of a follow-up question to that is, what's the cost difference between maintenance and a desktop subscription annually, approximately?
Depending on the product you have, the price varies. So if anyone on the line has a specific product or situation, be sure to reach out to our subscription specialist team, and they'd be happy to not only share you the difference in prices, but what those prices would look like if you lay out your price per year over the next 3 years, so you can make an informed decision.
All right, and this is kind of a question that we hear a lot too, is if a customer has perpetual licenses not on subscription, not on maintenance currently, what is the deadline to get those going? Can you clarify that, Alex?
If you have a perpetual license, for example, that's on a current version in 2016, you have until February 1st to add maintenance subscription to it. If you have a subscription that has expired in about the last year, right now is a great time to get it current. Autodesk is waiving late fees until October 31st, so you can get current. So it's very important to get back current and on maintenance subscription.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you have licenses that are not current right now, it's very important to get back on. And also, I might want to add that if you are current on your maintenance subscription, please do not let your maintenance lapse. There's no more grace period as of next year, right, Alex?
That is correct.
All right. Another question, and maybe Anthony, you can address this one. If a customer has multiple sites with different license types and users, what should they do?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's 2 points I want to make there. One is, in looking at a lot of the attendees on the line, there are several of you that fit into this category, where you either have different subsidiaries or you have different locations, sites, factories, plants scattered throughout the country, maybe the world. The first thing I'd recommend is I do not want this to be a surprise to people in your organization who are responsible for licensing across the organization. So I'd ask everyone on the line to make sure that the person in your company responsible for licensing your IT infrastructure is aware of these changes. We'll be having more events going forward, so be sure to invite them or have them call me directly. If you do have multiple sites, the best starting point is to get a license report so you know what your current inventory looks like. And by doing that, you may find patterns of users at different sites that are perhaps temporary users. You may have sites in Europe or Asia. And with the multiple network options Autodesk has available, when you have larger companies with multiple locations and users, there is typically a better way, a more economic way to acquire licenses and maintain them through a network so that you can share licenses throughout the country, throughout the world, and benefit by not having as many licenses and having them on one contract with one partner, so everything is organized going forward.
Great. Thanks, Anthony. So now back to a question that maybe Rich should handle. We had a couple of people asking this question. Are there desktop or let me rephrase that. Are there network license options for desktop subscription?
Currently, there's no options for network licensing on desktop subscription. That is an issue that's being addressed, and we do expect there to be some options there coming up soon.
All right. So, keep up to date. Now, with that, I do want to remind the audience there's, we have a blog that you should subscribe to. There's a lot of useful information, not just about subscription, but about different products in general, about the industry, new things that are happening. So if you're interested, please go to blog.ketiv.com and go ahead and subscribe to that, and we'll be able to. There's a lot of useful information, and I'm sure when this is updated, Rich is going to post a blog, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, keep an eye on the blog, and as things change, we'll definitely post all the info there.
Sounds good. Another question is, maybe this is for Anthony, and we can answer the best we can, is several questions has come in already, and it's in the line of, how is this change helping the subscriber, and why is Autodesk making this change?
Yeah, the subscriber, first off, how is the change helping the subscriber? I think if you're already a subscriber, the first thing is you're probably a maintenance subscriber, and there will not really be a change for you. Okay, so as long as you're on maintenance subscription, there is no change that will impact how you use software, how you buy software, or your experience going forward. As we look forward and the option to buy new maintenance subscription licenses no longer exists, I think you'll experience several benefits. The actual user of the software will experience several benefits that the term license gives you. We can schedule another session on that, but a couple of the benefits that I've seen and in talking to customers that they've experienced, one has to do with the cost of entry on new licenses. As you're hiring people today, it's hard to predict how long you'll need the workforce, that larger workforce. By going to desktop subscription, you're able to buy licenses in a quarterly and an annual format so that a year or 2 years later, you do not have to pay for those licenses if you do not need them. And if you pay for those licenses for less than 3 years, you're really ahead when you compare the option today of buying a full license, a perpetual license with maintenance subscription. So depending on your situation, there may be some cost advantages. There are definitely advantages for the user in terms of having a more personalized experience. Users will be able to have their own account set up. They'll be able to manage preferences and other features through their Autodesk account that gets created. And as Autodesk continues to acquire new technology, build out their feature set, we'll start to see more frequent updates of software. If you look at software in the past, an upgrade of software was an event that had to be planned for. Typically, IT would be involved. There may be new hardware that had to be involved. And it was an event that really was a big deal in a company. And I think as Autodesk starts to advance products, which we've seen them do significantly over the last many years, we'll start to see smaller chunks of features added to the product on a more regular basis. And by being tied in through subscription, you'll get access to those in ways that at times you may not even recognize. And they'll definitely be less of an event, but give you the ability to benefit from the features at really a lower cost and disruption to your organization. So we can schedule another session, Andy, where we get into all of the benefits, which maybe we do, or we write up a blog rich hearing customers talk about. And when you look at our customers today that still have an option to buy maintenance subscription or desktop subscription, in the last 6 months, we've seen our new license sales transition to about 30%, 40% a desktop subscription option instead of maintenance subscription. So customers are definitely seeing a benefit to it, and that shows right now both options, and like I say, about 40% are choosing desktop subscription.
Great, thanks, Anthony. And yes, we'll definitely follow up with additional webinar that gives you a lot more detail on the different benefits on your subscription from Autodesk. One question that came up, and I'm going to take this question because I want to answer something. You guys are having all the fun. So if we continue with perpetual license with maintenance subscription, are we stuck with our current version? And the answer is no, absolutely not. As long as you maintain your maintenance subscription up to date, and once again, do not let it lapse, always renew on time or before, you will continue to get the latest and greatest version that Autodesk has to offer. So if you have licenses on maintenance right now, keep them up to date. If you have some off maintenance and they're within the current year, go ahead and get them back on maintenance, and give Alex a call. He'll be more than happy to help you with that. Another question that came in, and Rich, maybe you can take this. Can you explain how the ability to install a home license work with maintenance subscription?
Yeah, definitely. So when you are on a current maintenance subscription plan, that is one of your benefits, a home use license. So what that essentially means is you can have another install of the software on a secondary machine, for example, your home computer or a laptop, so you could do work outside of the office. And the best way to access that is in your account center. So generally that's at manage.autodesk.com, and that's where you're going to want to go. As long as you are a named user, and that's something that contract manager will have to do, is set up named users for their account. But as long as you're a named user, you can log into your account center, and that's where you can access and experience all of your subscription benefits. So there's included cloud storage space, there's your home use license, and there's also some other cloud services that are available there.
All right. I think we have time for a couple more questions. I knew we still wouldn't have enough time with 15 minutes, but I think we have time for a few more questions. This one goes to Alex. Hey, Alex, customer currently has maintenance that extends beyond 2016. Can they buy additional maintenance for that license? Meaning that can they extend their maintenance subscription for that particular license, or do they have to wait to renew it?
As far as extending it, yes. I think the 3 years is where it stops. So it depends on the date. I would have to talk to the customer and see where we can get prorated as far out as we can.
Excellent. So yeah, if you have questions about, hey, what my licenses are, how do I get my license report, what do I have, how do I extend it, this is the best time to call Alex or call any of us, and we'll go through the assessment to make sure that everything is updated and ready for you, right? With that, you know what? Well, let's end with one more technical question for Rich, just to put him on the spot here. Okay, Rich. So if customer has a perpetual license, but it's not current on subscription, and the machine that was hosting the software died, how do they transfer that license to another machine?
So that happens. Machines crash all the time. If that's the case, feel free to give us a call. We'll help you work with Autodesk to get that license and get that installed on a new machine. But it's definitely understandable, and it's something that we do regularly here.
Fantastic. And with that, I'd like to give Rich and the Lifeline team some props. They work a lot with customers all the time, solving all kind of problems for our customers. So if you do have an issue, reach out to our Lifeline team. And if you don't have a Lifeline contract, that's something you definitely want to get on. Rich and his team are very useful, and they're available, immediately for helping you with any issues that you may have. All right. With that, I think that's all the questions that we have. Anthony, back to you.
Yeah, I'll just round up kind of some key points that we made through the presentation. First off, remember these dates. These dates are the start dates for the transition. So you'll definitely want to add your perpetual license maintenance subscription for February 1st. Currently, there are multiple rebates available through October 23rd. So make sure you reach out to us and we can help you plan and come up with the best option through our KETIV assessment. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone again for joining, and we'll look forward to talking to hopefully all of you and help you with this transition as we go forward. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you on our next webcast.